This is the story of the city mouse and the country mouse. Once upon a time, a city mouse and a country mouse met quite by chance in a meadow just outside the city, and they were delighted to see each other again.
It's good to see ya,
and good to see you.
and isn't it wonderful weather to play in the sun?
Hey, that sounds like fun.
It's so good to be together.
They talked and laughed and played and had a wonderful time all day. But then it began to get dark, and they were sad at the thought of parting. Suddenly, the country mouse said,
I've got a great idea. Come on out and spend the night at my place in the country.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Well, okay.
The country mouse noticed that his friend wasn't excited about the whole idea and tried very hard to make his guest happy. But as they reached the entrance to his home in the woods, the city mouse said,
Is this where you live? This dingy little hole in the ground?
Oh, but it's very comfortable inside, warm and cozy and safe, too. And I've got all kinds of good things to eat. Nuts and peas and barley and even some cheese and breadcrumbs are saved up special for my friends.
So they went inside and sat down to supper. But the city mouse turned up his nose at this simple country fare.
I should think you'd find this food very dull. You ought to see the food I have.
And after supper, when the country mouse showed his friend the neat bed of straw he had painstakingly prepared for him, the city mouse said,
You mean to say you live like this all the time? Sleeping on the ground?
But I thought this straw bed was real elegant.
Elegant? Why, I live in a great big house with fine wood floors, fancy brick walls, huge ceilings, even have heat from furnaces when it's cold. Say, now I have an idea. Tomorrow when we get up, I want you to come with me to my house in the city. I'll show you what real living is.
The country mouse was very sad at being unable to please his friend. But he agreed to go with him, and the next day they set out on the long journey, the city mouse singing merrily along the way.
There's nothing as pretty as living in the city where the bright lights shine.
Everyone's gay and witty in the great big city.
And every itty bitty little mouse has a house like mine.
It was quite late in the evening when they reached the great house where the city mouse lived.
Well, here we are, home at last. Now I'm going to show you how to really live. Follow me.
And they crept stealthily inside through a dark hallway. Then, suddenly, they were in a huge, brilliantly lit banquet room. There, in the center, stood a great big table full of food left over by the people of the house, who had just gone out. The city mouse leaped on the table and called out,
Well, now, my good country cousin, have you ever seen anything like this in your life?
I never would have believed a mouse could possibly live in such luxury.
Well, what are you waiting for? Come on up and dig in.
And in a moment, the two friends were feasting themselves on dish after delicious dish any mouse ever tasted.
Oh my, this is the life. How could I have ever thought my simple country life was a good life? Why, I think What's that?
Oh, that's only the master's dogs outside the door.
Only? They sound big and fierce enough to gobble us both up in one gulp. Look! Here they come! Let's get out of here!
And the two very frightened mice scampered out of that room just a jump ahead of the dogs. Once they were safely outside, the country mouse said,
If this is your idea of fine living, you're welcome to it. As for me, I'm going back to the peace and quiet of the country.
Oh, give me peace and quiet, and I'll be satisfied.
City life is a riot, but give me the peace and quiet of the countryside.
And I'll be satisfied.
And ever since then, he was satisfied, for he had learned that it is better to have a simple crust of bread in peace than a banquet in fear.